during that other live stream, I met some friends of mine that I saw. I'll take that video down shortly, but you know, it happens sometimes. You just see someone here while you're doing live stream, and that's okay. Live streams are kind of like the ultimate reality TV, right? So we're here to talk about content creation. What happened was I actually just did a blog post. I don't have any internet, but one thing I can really do, I could even do like video editing, but I'm kind of burned out on that. So one thing you can do is, you know, blogs. Blogs are a nice departure from doing all this YouTube video stuff. Although I really do love YouTube, don't get me wrong, I do it all the time. But I wanted to do a blog yesterday just because, one, I don't have internet. I wanted to do something different. It was a different time. And I haven't done a blog post in a long time. So I hopped on LinkedIn and hi Bobby, right? Bobby's cool. But I decided to do a different one. I'll take that one off. I actually worked with Bobby on a project before. He's a cool guy. I like him a lot. Really laid back. Anyway, moving on. So we're talking about content creation, and yesterday I made a blog post like late at night as fast as I could. And there were some issues with it, but like sometimes like with the development, you got to just ship the product and then refactor later. And that's what I did this morning. David Yang actually said, hey man, that was a great blog post, but there were some grammatical errors. Of course, that's a given. Normally I would just go and take some time on it, but I just need to ship it out, you know, get it out there. And I went through and corrected it today. So if you haven't seen it, I've done a blog post here. I'll show it later on LinkedIn, and you can just see it. It just talks about YouTube and how it's been great for me, even though I'm still a very small channel, and how it's done wonders for me. What's going on with you, Corey? Let me know. Let's take a look here. Corey says, when someone criticizes your work, you should get defensive and push the blame back on them. No. Bobby's awesome, dude. I'm not even talking about Bobby, but yeah, when someone criticizes your work, I think you're making a joke there, but definitely don't get defensive. Otherwise, you're gonna have no job. Let me go ahead and see if I'll share this article now, just so you can check it out. Let me switch over here. Oh, it's just on my computer. Oh yeah, those lovely black bars because they're not in sync with the shutter speed here. But what I learned from not becoming, oh yeah, that's not a good angle. Let's not do that. Yeah, of course, Corey, I got you, man. You're not becoming famous on YouTube. Corey, I wonder, have you done any blog posts or anything like that, like any LinkedIn articles or anything? Have you ever thought about doing that? I know you're a project manager, but let me know, man. Let me know. It's just you and me right now while we wait for people to get here. No. That's sad. That's alright though. You know, I ain't judging. I just think that you should, because it would be good for you. I'm a product manager, yes. Product management. Serious stuff right there. Serious stuff. I wonder how you get into that, Corey. I've always wondered. But I do understand, like, some of these things you gotta be careful with, right? Like at a previous job I had, they didn't want me to talk about anything, like, not anything that was related to career stuff. So, you know, even if it wasn't about what happened at work, which was weird, but you know, I get it with some people like that. So anyway, yeah, check it out. It has 34 whopping views on it. It's a pretty short blog post. I think like 750 words max. So check it out. It's not bad at all. Yeah. What are you up to today, Corey? I don't think you were here yesterday, were you? Or maybe you were. Just trying to switch up the camera angles here. I will. You will check it out for a second. Okay. The connection here is iffy because there's so many people here using up the Wi-Fi. I mean, I got, like, my son's using the iPad here, and I got my laptop open, doing live streams, and everyone else has their computers open, so I apologize. I had to go do more Stephen Greider content. Yeah, man, always do that Stephen Greider, man. I haven't been doing online classes for a while. It's been driving me nuts. I really want to do more, but, you know, no internet means no Stephen Greider. So, it's unfortunate. Too sad. 'tis sad. Tell me about you, man. Tell me what you've been up to. Well, you just told me you're working on Sleeping Brighter. It is we're kind of early today. No internet. Yeah, let me tell you about that story. How do I live? I don't. It's been miserable. Like, I've been totally out of my routine. I played video games with my son for the first time in a long time. Picked up some of those Super Nintendo games. It's like I never left. I was like 2 years old. Not 2 years old. 12 years old again. But it stresses me out. Video games stress me out actually a lot. I don't know if I think I've told you guys that before. But yeah, that's what we did. Thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for stopping by. We're just talking about... we're getting ready to talk about content, content and social media and how it plays into web development. We're just waiting for a few more people to get here. Talked about a blog that I made, and I'll show it later on the screen. I troll on video games. Trollolol. I bet you do. I bet you do. Yeah, are you a Black Ops guy? Fortnite, something like that? I don't know what the kids play now. I know that like guys my age don't like to play Black Ops. I think. I don't know. Yesterday, my son and I played Mystical Ninja on SNES. StarCraft. Whoa! That's too serious for me. You know, leave that to the South Koreans. They're pretty good at that. Yeah, Mystical Ninja on the SNES. We got pretty far. We were pretty happy about that. Anyway, moving forward. Stereotypes. Yeah, I mean, it's a big thing in South Korea, man. It's StarCraft is like, it's like I heard, at least at the time, which was a couple years ago, it was a big thing. So, anyway, so we're here to talk about content creation and its importance in web development. So we have a few people here. Let's go ahead and get started on this topic. I was telling Corey earlier that I was doing a blog post, as you can see here, and I just did it because it's something I haven't done in a while, and it was on what I learned from not becoming famous on YouTube. And so I've done a lot of videos on YouTube, I'm sure everyone knows, and I haven't been able to quit my day job, and that's okay because I love my day job. But people have this notion that you're going to get famous or you're going to pay for your entire life off of YouTube, and that's not true, and that's not why I do it. The reason why I do YouTube is to increase my personal brand as a web developer, as well as keep me focused on the end goal, on my career trajectory. And it's been great. I've been able to talk to a lot of people that I wouldn't get to talk to, like you guys. I also usually, when like freelance jobs come around, I'm like one of the first people that people will call in my local area, which isn't often because there's not a ton of projects, but because I've proven myself or I have this backlog of things that I've done, I usually get those calls right away. And it's just a great piece to have and just to stay up to date, you know? Like, I don't know. How can I say? It's just a good job security and fulfilling thing to do as well. And it's not just YouTube. There's a bunch of mediums that you need to be on or you can be on. I choose 2 or 3 to be active on. LinkedIn, kind of, Quora, kind of, but I've really focused my efforts on YouTube. And so YouTube is where I've been, but you don't want to spread yourself too thin. It just keeps you open, lets people know who you are. And rather than waiting for someone to put the pieces together, right, search you up online, what it does is it allows you to create that narrative yourself, rather than having people just kind of see like, oh, well, he worked here and then he did this, or oh, he does this, or I see that his Facebook account says that he's into like ska, something like that. You're actively putting out who you are and what you're about, and it's so important, man. It's super important to do that, because it's one thing, one way or another, they're gonna look you up and they're gonna find out who you are. Now, if you're actively taking the time to set the narrative, you're going to have a much better impression rather than just leaving it up to chance, right? Maybe your work history doesn't really tell the whole picture about you as a web developer, especially if you're getting into the industry as your first job, because you could have a random backstory. I was in customer service as an e-service specialist, not pretty related, quote unquote related, at least moving to the tech sphere. But I've known people like Aaron in Beta that was like a movie usher or did like customer service in retail. So how do you make people take an image of like, hey, you were retail and turn it into you're a developer through things like Medium, through things like Twitter, LinkedIn articles, YouTube. These are the things that made me transfer or reinvent myself as a developer and not as a banker or someone into like that banking industry, because I got my degree in economics, a bachelor's in economics with a minor in business. Then I worked at a credit union, and that was kind of hard to flip, right? So I really had to study. I had to connect the dots. Well, I am an e-service, that's online products, online web development. Let's connect the bridges and then redirect my trajectory. Okay, social media manager now, and I do WordPress. Okay, we're getting closer, and then web development, bam. But during that time, I'm always talking about my experiences, what I know, and it really gave people the impression, or let people know that, hey, I am a web developer, rather than just looking at my work history or looking something up online. Because if you looked at my work history, especially when I was at the bank, they'd be like, well, how does that make you a web developer? You've been doing banking for like 2 years and you got a degree in economics. You should have a computer science degree. Well, if I'm allowed to tell my story, I tell my story, and I have this backstory that I've created, and I've let people know that I've been working on this for months, years. It's going to make the difference. And you can't fake that, like 2 years worth of blog posts or 2 years worth of YouTube videos. So I want to kind of know what you guys think, what you guys are using for social media. And if you're having any luck with it, let me know. Let me know. In just a moment here. Sorry about the wait. Seems like this connection is a little iffy today. But it happens. Anyway, so while I wait for that, I'm going to tell you some of the tips that I use. First I did blogging. Blogging was the easiest because anyone can write poorly or well, but you're going to get better. And if you have a laptop, which especially if you're a developer, you're going to have a laptop, right? If you have a laptop, then you're gonna totally be able to write out a blog post, put some pictures in there, or put some links. You can use the snipping tool to grab like different like screenshots. These are things that are available to you. So that's how I got started. Was writing LinkedIn articles, and it wasn't even about you have a laptop, Corey. You're on your way. And I do apologize about the connection here, guys. I am aware of it, but I am unable to do anything about it. So thank you for waiting with that. Let me go ahead and go through some of my old articles here. Let's just pull those up, actually. I'm going to go ahead and get these up. But I think like the first one was, of course, Microsoft Office. One was about the power of you're ordering another laptop. Heck, man, I need another laptop. I have a strong MSI laptop running Windows, but I ordered a MacBook Pro. Bro, let me know about that MSI Windows. I might want to buy it from you. I'm looking for a new one. But yeah, I need to look at my stuff. What am I looking at here? It's so hard to do these questions and talk at the same time. The articles, right? I'm looking for my articles. So I'm going to tell you what I started out with to just kind of give you an idea of what you can start out with. It's more important that you gain the skill of creating content rather than what the content is on at first. I'll probably use both, but I need a Mac for some React Native dev. Fair enough, Corey. You could also get an Android, couldn't you? And but you want to deploy it in two places, right? Not just to Android. You want to deploy it to Android and iOS. So, looking at some of these articles here, let's take a look. You want to do both, right? Let's see. Some of my more popular articles are how I became a front-end web developer. That one had 148 clicks, which is not a lot. Let's see. But for LinkedIn articles, hey, I'm doing good. So that was about LinkedIn. When I was a social media manager, I made a quick link on how to make Facebook ads, and some of these were just like a quick paragraph and then my video. But I have others that were like full-on blogs. So let me go ahead and find some of those in just a moment. Let's see, upgrading your career, making web pages load fast was one I did. Here, I'll go ahead and share the screen. I know it's not the best on the phone, but you can kind of see here, upgrading your career, making web pages load fast. And these are all on my LinkedIn account. Thanks for the likes, by the way, appreciate that. This was about web development. Let's see if we can't find something that isn't about, yes. One of my most popular was how to make your LinkedIn account shine. I definitely recommend you guys check that out. It's a little bit older, but it still was still well written. So, I mean, I'm biased, of course, right? But that was a great way to get started. At the time, they had rankings for like you're in the top % of whatever, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. And I had a lot of positive feedback. 265 views, 8 thumbs ups, 2 shares, 2 comments, 2 shares. It was great, you know. But really, let me take a step back. I should probably do a video on LinkedIn. Hey, thanks Philosophy Behind Coding. Appreciate it. It's just something that a lot of us do, right, on these YouTube channels that we don't talk about for others. And the way I got started was through just seeing these on videos. From Treehouse was the first place I remember hearing about being active on social media. I decided to go a step further and make a YouTube channel, and here we are. But I'm just telling you, like, hey, you don't have to start out with video or anything like that. It's going to make you stand out a lot, but yeah, you can really do that. I also did a podcast. It was like a mini podcast here. Oh man, that was forever ago. I wonder if it's still active. When I was trying to do podcasts, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, you can actually get in here and check that out. That was forever ago. That's some hidden content that I've never talked about. Holy crap. But yeah, I tried everything at the very beginning. Podcasting, well, that's a lot of work without a lot of payback. Articles, that was better, but video was really where it was. Video was where it was at. Thanks again for the likes. I appreciate it. A couple of likes here. That always helps out the channel, and commenting does a great job of that as well. So definitely get in there. One thing that I've talked about is using some pictures. Now, if you have a phone, excuse me, if you have a phone, you can definitely take pictures and add those to your blogs. I would recommend you do that when you can, because it's just going to make you stand out even more. I have like one here that says how to learn, period, fast, period. I just put some of my own like quote unquote photography in there. With my current one, there's only like a cover letter picture. It's about what I learned from not becoming famous on YouTube, and I only needed one picture, the rest were links to my videos. So, you know, it depends. And I just put it up and I have 37 clicks, which is pretty good. The unfortunate thing is I shipped it with a lot of grammatical errors, but I just had to get it up. And that's something, hey, my pleasure, Danny. Danny says, thanks for the advice, appreciate it. Yeah, of course, that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. So it's like code sometimes. Sometimes you just got to ship and then refactor the code or edit, and that's what I did this morning. So David got on me, David Yang, one of my guys, and one of my guys by subscribers said, hey man, there's a few grammatical errors, but overall it's great. And you know, it's great to have that feedback. So I went back and changed it. Sorry, I'm losing my brain here, aren't I? So, yeah, Mateo says yes, I'm losing my brain. So anyway, moving forward, what should we talk about? What do you guys have as far as questions go with social media and web development? I'll keep on talking, but as the questions come in, I'll go ahead and answer them. Let me know. And let me know if you like these kind of structured live streams. It's kind of hard because you have to be really well versed in the topic to go live, but this is one that I am well versed in, social media. I've done Twitter as well. I haven't seen a huge increase in like traffic or anything, but it's so easy, setting up a Twitter account. But why not? Why not push a tweet? Why not push a tweet when you put out a video or a blog post? Always. And in fact, after this, I'm going to probably push out another tweet with my new blog post to Twitter. So yeah, you can hit me up on Twitter at GarceRich, but really all I do is use it. I don't use it the right way. I cheat. I just use it to post out things. Corey says Twitch. I've heard Twitch a few times, and Discord, but it's really hard. It's really hard to be on all the platforms, all of them. So Facebook for personal stuff, and Code with live viewers. Yes, that's something I'm going to do. As soon as we get that damn internet, it's a pain in my rear. That internet not being on, and it's only been like 4 days, but 4 days without internet for a web developer is like an eternity. I'll tell you what, if I only had 4 days to live, it would be these 4 days, because it feels like an eternity, and I would be ready to go after the 4th day. So, Corey says Discord is a chat, and the Discord server reacts. Flux is great. Sweet. Okay, so we've kind of talked about Twitter. Twitter's a great place to push other content, like route it. Think of it like a router. Oh, that's so nerdy. A Node.js router. You route your paths and your information, and you can do that with Twitter. That's how I use it. I push some of my stuff to Facebook just to let my personal network know what I'm going into. And actually, Facebook has been a place where I've gotten a few jobs and a few leads for personal projects. So I would definitely check that out. I would definitely do that approach if you're comfortable. Of course, that's where you're going to get probably the strongest recommendations is from your personal network, and that can be on LinkedIn or Facebook. So, that's a great way to do things. And we've talked about Quora in the past. I have a video on Quora, and I would check it out for you. Is how to use Quora as a web developer. You can have something like a blog, or even like just make a answer on the spot, or a video, and then like reverse search on Quora. So if you go on Quora.com, you can look for a question that you have the answer to, find the questions that have that, and then post your answer. That's a great way to get well known. But it takes time, The thing for me is blog posts and YouTube. Those are the things that I think help you the most. It's almost like a log or a portfolio piece in itself. Getting on Twitter and getting a lot of followers is great, but it doesn't necessarily show that you're committed to the craft or that you have skill or that you've done any coding in general. So I highly recommend you do blogging or video. Those are the most important ones to do. What do you guys think? Do you guys have anything to add to the conversation? Let me know if you are looking into doing social media or doing a video or starting a Twitch account or making a blog, and how I can help you out. While we wait, all my coffee is gone. 'Tis a sad day. 'Tis a sad day. That's all right. Not a big deal. I don't need coffee. It's just my lifeblood. So I guess we're waiting here, and that's okay. That's okay, guys. I'll talk while we wait for some questions to come in. What do you guys want to know about my YouTube stuff, my YouTube channel stuff that you've always wanted to ask? Let me know. Again, I always encourage questions. There's no bad questions. It helps move the channel forward. It helps people connect, and it helps YouTube know that, hey, people are into this stuff. So let me know. Let me know. With YouTube, I think the hardest thing in 2018 is just getting started and keeping up, right? How often do you get trolls? Oh, I don't know, like every other week. And I'm pretty sure I know how to deal with, not how to deal, I'm pretty sure I know who my troll is. Like I have a dedicated troll, and I actually think I know who they are in real life, which is unfortunate, but the way to deal with it is get over it. Sometimes they can say some shocking things, and I'm not gonna lie, it can be offensive, or it can really hurt, or it can be shocking. But the best thing is, what I've always done is reassure myself with any trolls that, hey, I'm doing something right. What does this troll have to combat? You know, it's very easy to say, oh, you suck. It's very hard to say, oh, you suck, and this is why, and this is my approach to it, and here, I built this out too. You know what I mean? Something like that. Then it becomes less about being a troll and more about criticism, and that's okay. And sometimes, harsh criticism is harsh, but at least they have something to show. But if you don't have anything to show, your point is kind of invalid, right? Or if you're just being stupid, whatever. That just means that you're being successful, in my opinion. That you have trolls coming up. So you got to take it into consideration, right? So I'm being successful, therefore I'm attracting all sorts of people, and definitely more positive feedback than that. So I would, if I were you, that's how I look at it. However, if you're getting a ton of negative feedback, more negative feedback than good, except for in the early days, because you might have a couple of trolls, then I would consider taking a hard look at your content and why that might be happening. I had a friend that happened to, and I said, well, think about where you're posting, and then think about what you're posting, and if you have access to analytics, be sure to do that as well, and then see why that happened, and maybe make a change. Maybe not. Maybe it's just an unpopular opinion. Like one time I posted an opinion, of course, to Facebook, posted it to the wrong group, and they hated it. I went to a different group, and they loved it. You gotta think about those things as well, and what you're doing for your audience. What is your audience asking for? Let me know if that answers your question, Corey, or if you want me to expand on that. Good question. Good question. Any more questions, by the way? Corey's been holding it down this entire live stream. Help me out with questions. I won't be saying, well, we'll take a look. We'll see. See how long this live stream goes. I think we're going to wrap it up here in about 20 minutes or so. But the more interaction that we get, the more I'll stay longer. What music do you listen to when you code? That's great. I'm so happy you asked that question. Chill wave, chill hop, but mostly video game music. Video game music. On YouTube, there's this channel called Luigi, and he always has good music. Summer beach music is one. Summer beach music, and it's just great stuff. I like it because it's instrumental, and it reminds me of my childhood. So that's why I use it. It's soothing to me. It relaxes me, and there's not any there's no lyrics. And by doing these mixes, it keeps me focused, and that's also another reason why there's so much varied content, so much varied music on my channel. But it's all kind of techie, video gamey. It's because I did that. So yeah, YouTube video game music is my thing. So I can probably share one here on my computer here. Give me just a moment. Sorry about the wait. This is, you can even see with the little red bar here. See how that bar is up? The tropical music, equality games, there's my son. So, that's what I listen to. Anyone else? Anyone else have some questions? Is that something you guys would listen to, by the way, if you're coding or you're writing a blog post or something like that? Or what type of music would you listen to? Corey says, what do you think of the YouTube shooter a few weeks ago? She claimed YouTube was filtering her content from viewers. She's got problems. I mean, that's what it is. And it's, it's kind of a bummer. That's an understatement, of course. But everyone has, their issues, and sometimes if you don't have a healthy way to talk about them, they're going to come out differently, or you're going to be able to feed into a false narrative. For instance, why did she feel like they were having filters, and moving her viewers, and how did that affect her life, her personal life? Did she depend on this income, and then all of a sudden there was a shift where she couldn't think straight because she couldn't even think of how she was going to survive? Was there some mental things, before that? These things are things that I don't hear people talk about too much. Like why did she come to that conclusion, and what were her current circumstances? I usually don't get into political stuff, but this is definitely within the realm of what we're talking about. And that's something that you should think about too when making a blog post. It's like, hey, or a YouTube video. You might not get the views that you want, but that's out of your control to some extent. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do to improve the quality, to improve your views, but it takes time, and it depends on what you're covering and how you're covering it. For my channel is an extremely slow-growing channel, in my opinion. Not extremely slow, but slower than most of my peers. And it's just because of the content I cover or the way that I cover it. I'm talking more about me, kind of like almost like a vlog mixed in there, where other people are talking about these kind of controversial issues or doing straight up coding, which I think I might get into now. But there's just so many good channels that got in there early. So do I blame the YouTube overlords for my slow growth? No. Do I depend on this for income? No. To some extent. I mean, not like I depend on it for income, but it does play a role into the bigger picture. So, what if I did? And what if I didn't have any support? Or what if I didn't do that? Like, I think any of us might be able to snap, but it's more important that we get help when we get to that point. So, like, if you're feeling that way with jobs when you're applying, I can see that happening with jobs, totally. Like, and we hear about that all the time. Like, so and so who used to work at X company went in and did something that tragic, right? So and if you're not getting the jobs, you're not knowing why, and you need that money, and you have all the stress, I can see it happening. So take care of yourself. That's the main thing. That was I wasn't ready for that question, Corey. So let's try to switch the conversation here real quick. What about, do any of you plan on starting a channel soon? If so, let me know and message me. If you guys are planning to do a channel or do a blog, message me. I may not be able to get to it, but I might. So definitely do that. Corey says, what do you think of Udacity School of AI? I mean, it's good, but it's really up to the individual with a lot of these courses. They lay the content out, but it's up to the individual to do it. I think it's fine. I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, this is the future or the be all end all. It's going to take a lot of hard work on the individual. So Corey says, I think they're positioning themselves in the AI machine learning space because there is less competition. Oh yeah, absolutely. AI, machine learning, but it's so like iffy to me. Like, in web and mobile dev, there are several low-cost competitors. Absolutely. Yo, David was just talking about you, how you kept me on that, kept on me about getting that fixed. You weren't really on me, but how you kept me motivated to go back there and fix that blog post. Talking about that earlier. Such as Stephen Grider. Yeah, absolutely. And there's some good choices like Colt, like the Colt Whitmore. No, what's his name? Colt Steele. The Colt Steele class. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff is out there, and it's still very competitive. You got to have some edge, right? Web development, everyone's wanting to do it. I still don't see a lot of people in it because there's such a high barrier, but you have to have something that sets you apart other than just the web development. Hey, Andrew, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. We were talking about doing blog posts, YouTube videos, so if you have a question about that, definitely let me know, and you can always go back and see what we were talking about. I just uploaded a blog to LinkedIn about what I learned from not becoming famous on YouTube. Ricky, when David critiqued you, you should have gotten defensive. Absolutely not. He didn't really even critique me. He said it was great. There were just a few grammatical errors, and that maybe next time I have someone proofread it. And I said, yo, David, I only had like 1 hour in that Starbucks. The kid was with the neighbors, and I just had to really rush it out, and so I was totally about that. So David was just, just like, hey man, I read it. Like, what would be worse to me is if someone just read it and was like, yeah, this is great, and like in their mind they're like, what the hell? Like, this guy doesn't even know how to speak English. Yeah, I appreciate it when you guys do that. Help me out with those things. Like, I think Corey, didn't you help me out with like one of my YouTube thumbnails? You were like, oh, this should be video 7. See, those are all good. Those are all good to me. So let me see. Oh, I could have shared this. What the heck? So on your phone, you can actually share your stream to like Facebook or something. I'm gonna be poor now. I'm never gonna make it on YouTube. Yeah. So Corey's in it too, but it's all in. You guys are very helpful to me. I really do find that helpful. I don't find it as getting defensive or anything like that. I think Ricky pressed the wrong button. Never mind. No, I got the right button now. So yeah, we talked about social media. I think I've already asked, but I'll ask again if we have some new viewers here. What are you guys looking for as far as, like, are you guys looking into making content creation, social media, blog posts, videos? If so, oh, I went offline for a sec. My bad. I won't do that again. If you're looking to do some of that stuff, what are your concerns? What are you looking for? David says a good topic to make a video about would be top 3 or 5 videos with the least views. Like of my videos, or just in general, David? Let me know. Because that is probably a good one. Because like probably one of my best review videos is like not very well received, which is not very well received. Your videos, David says. I wouldn't say very well received, but it is actually well received, but not very viewed, is HubSpot Learning Academy. HubSpot Learning Academy actually subscribed to me on YouTube after putting that out, so it only has like 500 views. And so HubSpot Learning Academy is amazing. Andrew says, I want to start writing blog posts about VS Code plugins. Okay, Andrew, and what is the goal, or what do you think you'll get out of writing blog posts? Why would you want to write a blog post about VS Code plugins? Other than like, hey, these are cool, what is the benefit to you or the benefit to others? Let me know. Corey says, a good video would be top 5 worst web developers or top 10 worst YouTube developers. I don't even know, man. If they're bad, then like I never see them. All I can tell you is that the top #1 spot would be Codebabes. Codebabes, and maybe Dolan would be somewhere on that list. Dolan, the Wix developer. In case you guys didn't know, I did an interview with Dolan, the Wix developer. There's 2 of them on Dylan Israel's channel. Check them out. Definitely, lighthearted and a good laugh, rather than just, the serious stuff all the time. Andrew says, show that I'm knowledgeable. I want to make it a weekly thing. That's a great start. One thing that you should totally think about is consistency trumps commitment. So if you're consistent and it's not like always like the best blog post, that's better than having the best blog post that doesn't come out on that weekly basis or whatever. Show that you're knowledgeable. These are all the perfect things to do. Corey says Dolan is awesome. Maybe down the line I can get a plugin devs on. Yeah. Corey says he charges $1K because that stuff is custom made, and then he grabs $50 template. Hey, he's a hustler, man. Dolan's a hustler. So with that blog post, Andrew, there are 3 places I know of, and I'll tell you which one I think you should start on. There's Quora Blogs. There's 4. Quora Blogs, WordPress, Medium, and LinkedIn. To be honest, getting started on any of those platforms is okay, because being able to port like blogs over is really easy. Copy, paste, put in some few images. It's not as hard as something like video or something like that. So I started on LinkedIn, but I also converted those blog posts over to Quora. And so I have some blog posts on Quora, not that I actually use them, but you can start on Medium. I would highly recommend Medium, because when I'm searching for stuff, Medium is like the place that I find a ton of blog posts. And there's claps and stuff, and that's where I would put my blog, and make a copy of it. They'll own it. If you want to own all your content, put it on WordPress. David says, kind of difficult to throw shade at a YouTube personality for being a poor web dev. Perhaps energy would be best spent on common mistakes for self-taught devs. Or, yeah, totally agree with you, David. And then just get started, Andrew, by the way. Just getting started. Making that first one is what's more important. Like this blog post I made, it's like, well, I've got to put it up now. It's got to go up. And so I wish I would have waited till today to put it out, but I put it out so it would have been out, right? And then you can go back, get better, and oh my gosh, like my first blog posts were horrible, but I went back, fixed them up, went back, fixed them up, went back, fixed them up, and now they're not too bad. There was like grammatical errors everywhere. And on this one, same thing. It was like, oh, that ain't right, that ain't how I talk. And that's okay, you know, because we can go back and fix them. And while we will make a first impression, it's better to make a, you know, it's great to make a good first impression, but it's better to just make an impression as long as it's not negative. David says, like learning that 12-column grid. 12-column grids, you know, to be honest, I don't really think in 12-column grids anymore. I know that's like a Bootstrap thing. I just think in like grids. Usually a lot of my grids are 3-column, 2-column, 1-column, or 4-column. Yeah, those are the ones I primarily use. So like learning how to cut them up, you know, in 25% and using Flexbox and Flexbox Wrap. Flexbox Wrap is so important. But yeah, there's a lot of things that self-taught devs miss. Peace, Corey. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate you, you know, appreciate the contribution. Talk to you soon. 12-column grids. You know, those are best practices. It's almost like, I feel like once you've been doing this for a while, you kind of like even go past that. But it's good to know about the 12-column grid and how it works. Because I usually don't use that, you know, but I do use columns and grids and margins and stuff. It's not as stringent as you might think. You know, when you first learn the grids, like, oh, it has to be this many, this and this many pixels. It doesn't work like that. And especially if you start doing your own stuff instead of Bootstrap, you know, then you can be really, really flexible. With Flexbox and Flexbox Wrap, it makes it even better. Instead of using like margin and float and zero and stuff. So definitely check that out. Well, David says, it's just a beginner thing for someone new to web dev. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's, I wouldn't even say it's a beginner, it's like beginner intermediate. And then you don't even like, it's like, oh, I'll just use Flexbox, or of course I would do this, but it is a weird thing to think about, right? So Andrew says, what have you been working on? Trying to get my freaking internet up, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what, like I was supposed to do my personal portfolio project all this weekend, and I wanted to do live streams from home and coding online and like portfolio reviews and all that. So I upgraded my upgraded my internet from 20 megabytes to 80 megabytes. But the technician came out and upgraded it, but I wasn't there in the house to let him in to fix what he needed to do inside. So I actually have 0 megabytes. I have no internet until Tuesday. It's awful. I was supposed to have 80, and now I have 0. So I'm just working on that. Really just doing blog posts or something like that. I want to switch it up because I can't really post up videos. They take a long time to post up with my slow internet, and now I don't have any internet, and I can only do it in public places, but I can't hang around for a couple hours for a video upload, right? So I did a blog post instead on LinkedIn. So just hanging out, I guess, taking a week off. I've been taking like 2 months off of hardcore learning, and it's been driving me nuts. To tell you the truth, I'm like itching to get back into it. So yeah, any other questions about content creation, web development, how it fits in, what you can do, any of that, let me know. And if you haven't liked this video, of course, give it a like. It helps out the channel, helps me out, and all that jazz. And then, yeah. Oh, thank you for a like. Appreciate it. 5 likes is good. And as I always say, it helps the YouTube algorithm. All that. Got to hustle on that YouTube. I'll tell you what. Like, it's definitely it's a numbers game. So I don't think we have any more questions. I'll wait for like a minute or so. But if we don't have any questions, I think we'll wrap it up here today. If you haven't subscribed, of course subscribe, and you'll get content like this all the time. Oh, Andrew has a question here. Just built my portfolio in Gatsby. Best SSG, hands down. I should check out Gatsby. I've heard a little bit about it, mainly from you, Andrew. But I really want to get my portfolio done. I just don't have the internet to do it. I mean, granted, I could work locally, but how long is that going to last until you have to look something up, right? So. And even if you do like find something without looking something up, it might be a suboptimal solution. So rather than do that and have to rebuild the code or build on some crappy code, just hang out. All right, so that's it for today. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Gotta get the rest of the day started. I will talk to you next time. You should use DevDocs. I'll definitely look it up, Andrew. Talk to you guys next time. Thanks for coming by, and hopefully next week I'll have some produced content for you. Not hopefully, I will. I'll have some produced content for you guys, and I'll hit you guys up and get a new video out there on the React portfolio. Talk to you guys later. Bye.